requesting others to please keep their phones on silent. Good morning to respected dignitaries and one and all present here. I, Dr. Anuja Deshpande, Faculty, Department of Psychology, Manibhai Nanavati Women's College, feels truly delighted to stand before you all today to welcome for Gender Law 2 2023. Gender Law 1 was held on 24th August 23 based on the theme Indian Cinema, Women on the Screen and Behind the Lenses, in which panel discussion and film review writing and deciding competition were held. Today's event is jointly organized by Women Development Cell and Department. I request you all to please rise up for the college song. That was our college song and the university song that we played. So today's gathering represents a unique opportunity to explore the profound connection between the two riyas and to shed light on powerful notes that the cinema plays in raising awareness, inspiring conversation and fostering about understanding of mental health issues. Cinema has always been a powerful medium for storytelling, reflecting the complexities of human conditions. It has the ability to transport us to different worlds, evoke our deepest emotions, and open our eyes to the experiences of others. Today, we celebrate the potential of cinema not only to entertain.
It's an honor to welcome you once again after November 21 when you were here for the Yatakatha podcast. And I would say exhibition making because that Happy Teachers Day movie is on its way to be released. I always cherish the beautiful face and the person, Bhagyashree. When I was also small and I used to watch that serial Kachi Do. And I used to always see, oh, someday maybe I can meet this lady. And that day has come today, so it's indeed a very blessed day for me also. Not only to see a beautiful woman by skin and stand by face and by appearance, but also by heart. So if one is to talk about Trinity, I would call her a trinity of glamour, beauty and compassion. A very warm welcome, a very joyful welcome to you, Bhagyashree, to this college, to bless this young woman of mine who will remember you and cherish you forever in their hearts. A very warm welcome to our own Professor Diva Bhagyashree. We call her Mata Maha, the female counterpart of the term Pitamaha, because man is an institution by herself. She has been a friend, philosopher, guide, mentor, and she has always been a great force that has always been at the back of all our activities. Gender law being one of them. A very warm welcome to Asha Kulkarni ji ma'am, the member of WBC. Participants from other organizations than MNWC, and of course, dear students, we love you all. We are here to celebrate gender today. This is the 5th continuous year that we have been celebrating gender law events. It was only the first year which had one event. I remember that July month.
Thank you, ma'am, for those encouraging and inspiring words for our students. I'm sure our students will fly, and you will see more Diva Bhagyashree in many occasions now. Moving forward, I would like now to request Professor Vibhuti Patel, the coordinator of Gender Law, Mumbai, to tell us more about our collaborating partner, FES and Gender Law.
Respected Himadri Band, Yogini Band, Rajashree Band, today's Utsav Murti, Prince Manvendra Singh Goyalji, and Ms. Bhagyashree Dasani, Shri Nabiraj Mehta, my dear teachers, students of who work at the crossroads of cinema, social work and health. Please join us in the greeting of Ms. Bhagyashree Dasani, who has worked in several Hindi, Marathi, Kannada, Telugu, Tamil and Bengali films. Her fascination and commitment to holistic well-being can be well reflected in her content on social media platforms like YouTube and Instagram, which many of us definitely would be following, where she frequently posts about health, fitness and lifestyle, demonstrating her commitment to total wellness. Her upcoming movie, Happy Teacher's Day, which is scheduled to be released this month, is also a reflection of mental well-being. Aside from her work, ma'am is an enthusiastic supporter for projects aimed. Thank you, ma'am. Now it's our time to introduce our second guest, whose journey is inspiring to many. Manvendra Singh Gohil is the Crown Prince of Rajasthan. I once again Now we begin with the first part of the event when everyone is waiting to hear our guests. So let's start with an engaging discussion on mental health with our esteemed guests Ms. Bhagyashree Dasani and Prince Manvendra Singh Gohil, which is moderated by Dr. Cecilia Chetya, Head Department of Psychology, Manjiben Nanavati Women's College. I request other members to please see this.
underpaid, overworked, and maybe that's why people have mental health issues. The Department of Psychology at Manibet Nanavati Women's College is going to challenge this narrative to help us understand that mental health is a necessity for everyone. And I'd like to start off by asking two very powerful individuals here. You have faced so much of responsibility just by being who you are. Both of you officially have been born, to use a very technical term, born into privilege. And just being who you are requires you to maintain such huge responsibility. How do you shoulder this responsibility? Who would like to go?
Namaste. So yes, you're very right. We had to shoulder our responsibilities coming from such backgrounds where we have to, have people who are entrusting us with so much, coming from such old family backgrounds. So it becomes our duty, our responsibility, to fulfill that. So having said that, definitely you need to be mentally fit. I mean, the physical fitness, yeah, as you're growing up, I'm sure we both would have gone through a lot of physical training and all that when you're growing up, a lot of things. But yeah, mental fitness is of the utmost importance because we've had to face so many challenges, so many struggles growing up as a child and even later on in our lives that we definitely need to keep that mental stability, that equilibrium is important. Otherwise, I mean, you can just crack down, there'll be like, a stage will come when you are, and you cannot afford to do that because you are also the icon, you are also the role model, So we need to, keep it up first. We need to, we need to have that much of confidence in ourselves that we cannot afford to break down. Otherwise, where will people go? Where will the people look up onto? I mean, we are the ones they are trusting. We are the ones we are responsible to so many of them. So, yeah, that's what I have to say.
Namaste, good afternoon, and it's an absolute pleasure to be in a place where really the women in our society get provided financially, mentally, supported to achieve their dreams. So thank you so much, first of all, for having me here. To your question, I would say, yes, born into privileged homes, but with that comes the responsibility of living up to that privilege. People around us also expect us to behave in a certain way, to prove ourselves that we really deserve the privilege that we have been blessed with. And that becomes a problem because when you're growing up, you're just a child. Like any other child, you don't realize that you are born into that kind of privilege. But the people around you are constantly judging you from that perspective. So I think the biggest challenge is avoiding that kind of judgment that puts you in a place of envy, of jealousy, of wanting to bring down the other person, because as humans, one rarely really glorifies another person's accomplishments. Unfortunately, our society thrives on bringing down the other person rather than feeling happy for someone who's achieved anything in their lives. We're just feeling happy for someone else's happiness. And I think that is the biggest problem. So while you're growing up, and especially for me, growing up in a royal household, of course, there was a lot of do's and don'ts. Though I was born and brought up in Bombay, life in Bombay was very different to what it was in Sangli, which is my hometown. And there somehow, we are revered in a completely different soundly. Also, I had to keep my head covered. It was a protocol of what was required at that point of time. So it comes very strange because all of you, like me, we have studied and we've been born and brought up in a cosmopolitan atmosphere where we don't really have to follow these norms. So when I would go back there and I would have to follow these restrictions, it was suffocating. It was so difficult. But we weren't supposed to ask questions and we were supposed to follow the norms. So yes, it was very, very difficult at that age.
I'm remembering now that you said this. I wasn't allowed to wear shorts after the age 10. No t-shirts and no shorts. No, not